Welcome to Coin Explorer. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a small copper-colored coin that most people barely notice. It feels light and ordinary, the kind of change that quietly moves from one hand to another every day. The coin shows the year 2015, and the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln appears on the front. Millions of these pennies were produced and circulated across the United States. Most people spend them without giving them a second thought. Yet collectors often say that interesting discoveries sometimes come from ordinary coins. Small details can completely change how a coin is viewed in the collecting world. A rare feature, an unusual strike, or exceptional preservation can turn something common into something worth examining closely. The Lincoln penny itself has a long history. It was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Before that time, American coins rarely showed real historical figures. The decision to place Lincoln on a circulating coin marked an important moment in United States coin design. Over the years, the Lincoln cent became one of the most recognizable coins in the country. Generations of Americans used it in everyday transactions. By the time the 2015 penny was minted, the design had already been part of American life for more than a century. Even though it is the smallest denomination, it still represents a connection between modern life and the nation's history. Looking closely at the front of the coin reveals several familiar elements. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln faces towards the right side of the coin. Above his head appears the phrase, "In God we trust," a motto used on United States currency. To the left of the portrait, you can see the word liberty, representing an important national ideal. On the right side appears the date 2015, marking the year the coin was struck. Near the date, there may also be a small mint mark showing where the coin was produced. These simple design features combine history and symbolism within a coin many people rarely examine. Turning the coin over reveals the modern reverse design used for modern Lincoln cents. Since 2010, the back of the coin has featured the Union Shield, replacing the Lincoln Memorial used for many years. The shield represents unity and strength within the United States. At the top appears the phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. Around the upper edge of the coin are the words United States of America. Across the lower banner, you can see the denomination 1 cent. Even though the design appears simple, it represents the idea of many states forming one unified country. In everyday use, a penny is worth only 1 cent. Most people treat it simply as small change. However, coin collectors often see things differently. The value of a coin can depend on rarity, condition, historical interest, and unusual characteristics. A coin that looks ordinary at first glance might become interesting once examined closely. Even modern coins sometimes attract attention if they display unusual features. While most 2015 pennies remain very common, collectors still study them carefully because rare variations occasionally appear. One reason collectors search through pennies is the possibility of discovering a mint error. Mint errors happen when something unusual occurs during production. A coin might be struck slightly off-center, show doubled letters, or display other unexpected details. These mistakes happen rarely, but when they appear, they can make a coin stand out. Collectors find such pieces fascinating because they represent unusual moments in the manufacturing process. When a coin displays a dramatic and visible error, it can attract strong interest among specialists. Another factor that influences a coin's desirability is condition. Coins that remain in nearly perfect condition are described as mint state by professional grading services. These coins show little wear because they were never heavily circulated. Since most coins pass through many hands, finding a perfectly preserved example can be difficult. When a coin receives a very high professional grade, collectors often become more interested in acquiring it. Even modern coins like the 2015 penny can attract attention if they survive in exceptional condition. Collectors also examine the mint mark, a small letter placed near the date. This mark shows which United States mint produced the coin. Pennies are commonly minted in places such as Philadelphia or Denver. Each mint produces millions of coins every year. Collectors enjoy comparing details between them. Sometimes small differences appear in strike quality or appearance. Studying these details helps collectors understand how coins were produced during a particular year. Stories occasionally circulate among collectors about modern pennies reaching impressive auction prices. These stories usually involve coins with extremely rare features. In some discussions, an unusual example connected with a 2015 Lincoln cent has been mentioned alongside auction figures approaching $7 million. Situations like this would require extraordinary circumstances, such as a rare mint error combined with exceptional preservation and strong collector demand. Results at this level are extremely rare, but demonstrate how unusual coins can attract attention. The idea that a tiny coin could become valuable is part of what makes coin collecting interesting. It encourages people to examine everyday change more carefully. A coin that looks ordinary may reveal interesting details when viewed closely. Many collectors use magnifying lenses to inspect coins. They search for doubled letters, unusual surfaces, or distinctive characteristics. While most coins remain normal examples, the possibility of discovering something unusual keeps collectors curious. The 2015 penny also reflects the modern composition used for United States cents. Today's pennies are made mainly from zinc with a thin copper coating. This composition was introduced when the price of copper increased. Although the coin appears copper-colored on the outside, the inner structure is mostly zinc. Understanding this composition helps collectors distinguish modern cents from older copper coins. Another reason collectors enjoy studying coins is the history connected to them. Every coin travels through many places during its lifetime. It might have been used in a small purchase, dropped into a jar, or saved in a coin collection. Each moment adds another chapter to the story of the coin. When collectors examine coins closely, they're studying objects connected to everyday life. For beginners, pennies provide an easy way to start collecting coins. They are common, inexpensive, and full of interesting details. Many collectors simply begin by sorting through pocket change. Over time, they learn how to recognize different mint marks and study design details. What begins as curiosity can quickly grow into a rewarding hobby. If you ever come across a 2015 Lincoln penny, take a moment to examine it carefully. Most examples will remain ordinary coins worth 1 cent. However, the possibility of unusual varieties keeps collectors paying attention. Stories about extraordinary auction results, including discussions about figures reaching $7 million for unique specimens, continue to spark curiosity among collectors. In the end, the fascination of coin collecting is not only about money. It's about discovery, history, and curiosity. The 2015 1-cent coin represents a small piece of everyday life that connects to a larger story. Whether it remains simple pocket change or becomes part of a collector find, it reminds us that even the smallest objects can hold interesting stories. If you enjoy discovering hidden stories behind everyday coins, always look closely at the change in your pocket. Sometimes the smallest discoveries lead to the most interesting stories. Stay tuned for the next video to explore more fascinating coins.